I was consistently letting shit slip in my life, and that's the reason why my standards were low and why I wasn't living up to the potential that I knew I had within me. It's also the reason why my goals and results sucked. Driven Mofos, welcome back to another episode of The Underestimated Entrepreneur. All right, let's get into it. Today we're talking about self-discipline, and I want to talk about some of the key things that have really helped me to become super disciplined. Now, I still let shit slip like everybody else, but fuck man, when it comes to most people's discipline, it sucks. Right? Now, look, this took me a fair while to figure this stuff out. But if you go to my Instagram page, if you're not already following me on Instagram, then get there and follow me. But on my Instagram page, it says there, clarity, time standards, plus environment equals results. And what that means is they're essentially the 3 steps to keep stepping it up in life, that if you get those things right, you'll crush it. Now, what I found was that once I came up with that sort of quote or framework, man, it is a game changer. Now, the reason why most people suck with discipline is that they have a lack of clarity around what they're trying to achieve in life and what their standards are in life. That almost makes it impossible to live those standards. And then from there, they go and hang out with people that are low quality, low standard motherfuckers that just drop the ball all the time. You know, like the amount of people that I see, they're on this health kick, and then the next second they go hang out with their friends. It's a Saturday afternoon, everyone's drinking beers, they're smashing food. And then the next second they just have one chip. Then one chip is like, oh, I'll just have a couple more. Then it's like, do you want a beer? Yeah, I'll have a beer. Then now they've just smashed some chips. They've just had a beer. Then it's like, let's get some pizza for dinner. Ah, fuck it, I've screwed up until Monday. I might as well just blitz it for the weekend. And then the next second they're out, they're at the strippers, they're doing lines of coke. Like shit goes downhill really, really quick when they slip. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who listens is like that, but I'm saying that you have your vices and you let yourself slip. When you let yourself slip, that is your excuse to slip in other areas of life. And you know that this is true. So what I realized was that I had to get really, really clear of what I wanted. Now, my clarity is around traveling the world and helping people perform better. You know, my businesses and stuff like that help people perform better. You know, I have a massive gap between where I am now and where I want to be financially. I have a massive gap between where I am now and where I want to be health-wise and fitness-wise and all that. So I'm always pushing to close that gap, right? I wake up in the morning hungry, striving to be better, striving to do better. Okay, now with that clarity, then I realized that my standards were slipping. Okay, I would get to a Friday afternoon and go, oh, I had a good week this week, I'll just get a pizza. That's the reason why I wasn't getting results, because I was letting shit slip. And then I would get a pizza. I would have a shitty sleep. Then I'd wake up in the morning, I'd have my coffee. I would miss doing some of my breath work or whatever I'm doing in the morning. Then from there, that starts to slip and I go, oh man, I'm feeling tired today. I just won't get some work done. Well, of course I'm tired because I ate shit food last night, had a crappy sleep. And now there's another excuse. So then the next second I'm ordering a schnitzel hot pack for lunch. Then I'm eating Chinese for dinner. And then I'm like, oh, I'll get back into it tomorrow. And now I've just had 2 days or a day and a half of just eating shit. That was my excuse. That was my way out. That vice there was the thing that stopped my discipline. Okay, because I'd let it slip. Also, under stress, I would get stressed out. And I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm just so stressed out. You know, I'm just going to get a pizza for dinner. You know, I just can't even be fucked thinking about dinner. There we go again. I just slipped again. Then the next second that turns into a day and a half of just eating shit food before I clean it up again. And I'm not doing bad. So for most people out there, that's like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of just eating shit food, right? So, you know, I was capable of picking it up in like just over 24 hours. Most people aren't like that. Most people, it's 3-4 days. You know, when most people have a bender, they have a bender. But what I realized was every time I let myself slip, that was the thing that was stopping me from living the life that I want and what I know I'm capable of. So what I want you to think about is I want you to think about every vice that you have and every time that you slip, how quick it is for you to fall downhill, right? I've just been creating my brand new program that I'm about to launch. It's an online program. It'll be launched in the next couple of weeks and it's called Dominate. And it's all about how to dominate in life. And every week there's a weekly mindset training that I'm going to drop. And then there's also a training which is either in the area of wealth creation, relationships and communication, because you've got to become a better leader if you want to achieve more. The third thing is health. If you don't get your health right, you're essentially letting shit slip. Your energy is going to be crap. Your mindset's going to be shitty because your slips in your mindset are going to lead to slips in your body. The slips in your body are going to reinforce your shitty mindset. That's going to impact your money and it's going to impact your relationships and how you communicate. So this program is on those 4 key areas: mindset, health and vitality, or health and energy, health and body, whatever you want to call it, wealth creation, business, career, anything that makes you money. And then finally, relationships and communication. Because if you can't communicate effectively with others, you're essentially fucked. You're going to have a shitty intimate relationship. You're going to have a poor relationship with your kids. You're going to have shit staff or shit people that you're trying to lead. Like, you have to master those areas if you want to crush it in life. So I'm going to be dropping that in the next couple of weeks. It's cheap as shit. It's under $100 a month to be part of that. It's going to be absolutely epic. And then there's going to be coaching calls done every week as well. So I'm going to be dropping that as well. But in there, I talk a lot about standards and upping your standards and not getting caught by your vices. That's why it's so important, because we have to be reminded of this shit consistently, right? There are times where I want to slip, but I let myself know that if I slip, that's the excuse to not get the results that I really want in life. And every time I do that, it's an excuse that I let someone else slip with, whether it's a client, a staff member, or whatever. And they compound over time. So the more I let myself slip, the harder it is to hold others accountable. And I'm sure everyone who's listening to this knows that part of the reason why you don't hold other people accountable and part of the reason why you don't push people to a higher standard in your own life is because you let yourself slip and you feel guilty, because if you tell them off and you don't hold yourself accountable, you're fucked. And everybody knows that. So you have to get clarity first. Then from there, you massively increase your standards and you put yourself in an environment to win. Do you know the amount of dipshits who fucking reach out to me and they're like, oh man, I don't have the life that I want. I'm not making the money that I want. My business isn't working. I'm like, no wonder you hang around with fucking morons, right? Look at the people that you're hanging around. They're all going to the pub on a Friday night getting smashed, all talking about how shit their week is and how fucked everybody is, right? They complain about their relationship. They complain about the people that they hang around. They complain about the business. They complain about the economy. They complain about money, and then they wonder why their standards are slipping. Come on. You know why your standards are slipping. The people you're hanging out with are ball bags. You know that. Come on. So first of all, you got to get clear with what you want. What's the lifestyle you want? Number 2, you've got to get super clear with the standards that you need to operate at. You've got to keep stepping it up. Then from there, you have to start surrounding yourself and putting yourself in an environment with the right people to keep stepping up and the people that are going to hold you accountable. This is part of the reason why I created Dominate, because without that, most people are going to keep slipping back into old habits, letting their vices crush them. They're going to have a lack of clarity. They're not going to be getting the results that they want, and they are chewing away their life. Their most valuable asset is fucking time, and they're wasting it because they're dicking around, hanging out with bull bags that have low standards, aren't getting the results that they want, and everything's slipping, and they know it. There's nothing worse that I see than a parent who says to me, I'm disappointing my kids. And parents know that they disappoint their kids by letting their standards slip. Right? How can you tell your kid to eat well when you're the one that's putting shit in your mouth all the time? And when you look in the mirror, you're ashamed of your body, yet you want your kids to have good body positivity. Do you know how many fucking idiots I see online who are like body positivity, yet they're treating their bodies like shit? They look like crap. The only reason why they're trying to convince other people body positivity is because they live in shame all the time. They're ashamed of themselves. Right? I don't talk about body positivity because I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me. Right? I hold myself to a high standard. I know what I think about me is the only thing that matters. And I know if I let myself feel like shit, other people can say, dude, you look good. And I'm like, no, I let shit slip. I feel like crap. Everybody knows that. How many times have you had in your own life where you've been crushing it and then all of a sudden you let food slip in your life? And then someone tells you that you're doing a good job and you look really good, but you feel shit about yourself because you know you let yourself slip. How many times, if you're a business owner or someone in your career, where people tell you that you're doing great because they can see that your finances are doing well because you've got the new car, you've got everything, but you know in your bank account and you let it slip and you blew cash that you didn't have. You feel like an absolute dipshit. So it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, it matters what you think. And if you're standing there looking in the mirror and you don't like the body that you see, that's what you're training your kids on. That shit has to change. And it changes with you. Fuck body positivity and all that bullshit. You're body positive because of your standards that you live at. You don't need to convince the world of body positivity. Bloody hell, come on. So the same thing happens in all areas of your life. You've got to catch yourself slipping, and everybody slips. Believe me, I have times where I slip, and I know the most successful people who slip sometimes, but they're able to pull themselves out of that shit really, really quickly. If you're smashing bags every weekend, you know, you're doing lines of coke off of the dunny of a nightclub on a Friday night because you had a good week financially, your standards are dog shit. right? If you're spending money that you don't have consistently to impress other people that don't give two fucks about you, your mindset is dog shit. You have to change your mindset, and you do that through personal development, through personal growth. Hence why I created Dominate. Hence why I have Thrive Time. Even my business growth program, Business Growth Odyssey, it's a 12-month program. The hardest thing that I have to do is get business owners to get their heads right, because their business is a direct reflection of how they think through shit and the standards that they operate at. Imagine being a fat motherfucker and you go into work every day and you're like, guys, we got to crush sales. We got to hit fucking targets. We've got to be disciplined. We've got to hit these targets. And then they're watching you smash down food and they're like, I got no respect for that fat fuck. Look at that guy, right? They're going to make as much money as they want while it's there. And the moment that they're not getting money, they are going to leave the fucking business. Why? Because they don't want to be told by someone else who has low standards to have high standards. That is bullshit. That's the reason why a lot of businesses have high staff turnover, because the manager that they work under isn't inspiring. It's not someone that they want to be. So when you wake up in the morning, you crush it every day and you're living at high standards and you have super discipline and you don't allow yourself to slip into those vices, the people around you are going to be high level as well. Because when you say, hey guys, high standard today, and you're doing the shit at a high standard, they're like, fuck, I got to step it up. And they will step it up naturally. The whole world is full of these low standard motherfuckers that tell everyone else how to live. We should have body positivity. Do you have body positive? Are you fucking happy? Take off your fucking clothes and stand in front of everyone and let's see how body positive you are. Guaranteed they're slipping. Then you've got the people out there who are telling people, you know, we need to be abundant. We need to be abundant. Well, open up your bank account and let's see your abundance. How do you live in life? Are you crushing it? Do you wake up every day and go, fuck, look at the life that I've got. Look, every year, my standards keep rising financially. Look at me. I'm getting more and more investments. I've got more and more cash in the bank. I'm driving a better car. I'm living a better life. I'm having better fucking holidays. Are they doing that? Or are they just telling everybody else that because that's what they need to hear? That's the real shit, right? All of these motherfuckers out there talking about positive mindset, positive shit in their head, right? The reason why they're talking about that stuff is because they know that their mindset is dog shit and they're trying to remind themselves that they need to be positive. You don't need a positive mindset when you're crushing it in life because your mindset takes care of itself. Fuck, when I have a killer day and I'm just holding myself accountable and I'm pushing for results, I don't even think about my mindset. I just operate. I'm like, cool, I got to get this done. Got to have that. Okay, cool. I'm counting my macros. I know exactly what I need to eat because it's already in my calendar. I know exactly what I'm doing tomorrow morning. I'm recording this podcast right now. It's 6:34 at nighttime. I've been up since 6 a.m., done fucking as much as I can possibly cram in my calendar today. In fact, I need to eat 2,000 calories per day currently at the moment on my non-training days. I'm at about 400 calories right now. Actually, I'm smashing a protein shake right here. Why? Because I haven't even had time to fucking get my calories in today because I've been smashing it. Now, after this, I'm going to go make up for my calories. Believe me, I'm going to have a feast. But I'm not going to be eating shit food. Believe me, it's going to be super clean, but I'm going to get my calories in. I got to smash my protein targets because that's what I have to do. It's all calculated. It's all in the app. I'm holding myself accountable. This is what I'm going to teach you guys in Dominate, right? Holding yourself accountable to shit, right? The reason why all these people out there keep saying all the shit that they say about body positivity, mindset positivity, you know, that we shouldn't judge everyone else, that, you know, we should be nice to everybody, is because they're looking for that in the world because they don't have it inside their own head, right? When you're crushing it, you do not think about positivity. When you are fucking shredded and you have a body that you look in the mirror and you're like, fuck yeah, man. When you do that, you don't need body positivity because you've already got it. You know that you're crushing results. When you're sitting there smashing fucking KFC into your mouth and you're going, I feel like shit, you hate yourself, and then you go out to the world and you try to change other people relative to yourself because you have no discipline. And that's unfortunately the world that we live in. That's the world that I'm fucking changing because I only want to work with killers, driven mofo, people that are pushing it, and people who have high standards. I don't want to be surrounded with that bullshit. Let everyone else in the world virtue signal and tell everybody else how to live, right? People should look at you and go, fuck, I want to be like that. Not the other way around where people out there are going, oh, we should all be positive and we all should be happy and we all should just get along and we should be non-judgmental and that we should be body positive and all this sort of shit. Well, how about you just set a standard? Everyone else looks at you and goes, shit, how do you do it? You don't have to tell anyone. They ask you how because you're crushing it. Do you know, every week I get messages in my inbox and people say to me, hey, I need to know how to make more money. Hey, how do you live the lifestyle that you live? How do you run a business where you're not fucking stressed and peaking all the time? And I'm like, cool, let's talk. Let's get into it. Let's do some coaching. Let me help you with that. Let me help you with getting your shit right, because if you get your head right, the rest of the stuff will take care of itself. I've just opened up a bunch of coaching right now for people who want to change their bodies, for people who want to change their business, and also for people who need to change their mindset. I've opened up different spots for coaching in those areas, right? Now, if you want, hop on Instagram, hit me up on my Instagram page. I'm more than happy to talk to you about it and tell you the packages and stuff. We've got group stuff going on. Shit's going crazy right now. It's fucking awesome. But anyway, my point is, be the change that you want in the world. Don't wait for the world to change relative to you. Don't say, I want my kids to be inspired when you're a down and out dropkick who lets shit slip in your life all the time. And I know for some of you, you're going to hate my guts for this. You're listening to this going, fuck this guy. But that just shows you how irresponsible you are and you fucking know it, right? If you're listening to this right now and you're like, shit, man, I need to step up my standards because he's correct, then hey, you're in the right community and welcome, welcome, welcome. You're part of the Driven Mofos. That's exactly why we are fucking here, right? Because the world is full of low standard, tire kicker motherfuckers who aren't going to get anywhere in life. Most of them don't even realize how shit their life is until one day they're going to self-reflect and realize that they dropped the ball massively. I watched my grandpa do it where he cried up until his final lasting hours. And he said, I never got to live the life that he wanted to live. Why? Because he worried about what everybody else thought. He did everything for everybody else. He was the strongest man in our family. And I watched him break apart a couple of weeks before he passed away because he knew he had only a couple of weeks to live. And it just broke him down. When I saw that, I thought, you know what? I will never, never get to that place in my life where I have those fucking regrets. And that's why I'm hardcore now, right? I push. I don't want to surround myself with low energy motherfuckers. I don't want that in my life. I don't want people around me who are drop kicks. I have them come all the time. Well, you should give free coaching and you should do this. I'm like, listen to my podcast. It's free. This shit, I don't ask you to pay for. It costs me money, right? If I do coaching, one-on-one coaching, if I do private coaching for a business executive, it's normally around about $1,350 an hour or 10 grand a day. So if I've got to spend 2 or 3 hours a week doing podcasts, you're essentially getting a couple of grand's worth of value for free. And these assholes get on there and they're like, whoa, you should be doing shit for free and giving away your programs for free. I'm like, do you understand what it costs to run a live event? Bloody hell, at the hotels that I run events at, it costs $1,500 just for them to turn the fucking projector on and off. That's per day. $1,500. Then I say, oh, I need some speakers and some audio. And they go, cool, there's another couple of grand. And I go, shit, what about the lights for the stage? That's going to cost you a couple of grand. I'm already at 5 grand before I've even got on the stage. And that's not even for room hire. Okay, sometimes if you hire rooms, they can be anywhere between $1,500 and 5 grand a day, depending on how big the room is. Some of them even more. So all of these assholes are low energy assholes who consistently want everyone else to drop their standards down to their standards. If you're surrounded by people like that, get rid of them. They are the toxin that is destroying you. Get rid of them, right? You don't have to tell them that they're a piece of shit or whatever, but you just stop spending time with them. I had heaps of friends like it when I grew up. When I was partying with them, it was awesome. But the day I wanted to change, they were like, cool, man, go for it. And then straight away, once I started achieving results, they all talk shit behind my back, right? Because they kept trying to pull me down to their low standards. Now, some of them now are wicked. They've raised their standards. Some of them now are coming to my events. I hang out with them again. Some of the kids I went to school with or the guys I went to school with, they're now coming into my events because I'm inspiring them. Inspire people through your actions, through your life. Do not tell people how to live and what to do. Inspire them through your actions. Okay, just be the person that you need to be and let everyone else ask how you did it. And then from there, you become the change in the world that you wish to see because you are that change. You're a leader now. Right? I'm sick of all this shit out there of people calling themselves leaders and they're worried about what everybody else thinks. Right? If you need everybody else's opinions to figure out whether you're a fucking leader or not, you're shit. That's what it is. Right? That has to change. I see business owners do this all the time. They worry about what staff think. They worry about what clients think. They worry about what everybody else thinks. How are you supposed to run your own path in life when you're worried about all that shit? Come on. Anyway, I hope this is helping, guys. Look, if you're loving this, make sure that you share this with someone who needs to hear this. Right? There are so many business owners out there, so many people out there who are dropping their standards. Share it with a friend today. Like, get out there, share it. Show that you are the change in others. Help them to help you. You help them. And what's going to happen is you're going to surround yourself with the right environment to crush it. Remember, clarity times by your standards or the standards that you expect, either way, plus the environment that you hang around will equal your results in life. If you let any of that shit slip, if you're unclear, you have low standards, and you hang out with low standard people, then don't be surprised if your life is just always in some form of chaos or some form in shit or whatever, and you're going to be disappointed with where you're at. Because I know that if you're listening to this podcast, you would not listen to someone like me if you did not want to be pushed and you know that you can be doing better. That's how you want to live life, right? You want to live at that high standard. And that's why I love having you as part of the community. I'm super grateful to have people like you who want to learn, who want to grow, who want to be better, who are raising your standards and are prepared to do whatever it takes to get there. You are the people that inspire me to wake up when I'm feeling like shit. My alarm goes off in the morning and I get out of bed because I got to do it for them. And I've also got to do it for me because I know that this is my slip and I'm not letting myself slip. Anyway, Driven Mofos, I hope this helps, but just ramp up that discipline, really crack those vices. Don't let yourself slip. You know whether you're letting yourself down or not. Every bit of shit food you put in your mouth, every time you do drugs, every time you have a cigarette, every time you do something that you know that you're disappointing yourself and lowering your standards, you are going to beat yourself up and you are going to lower your self-worth. With a decrease in self-worth comes a decrease in value. As you lower your value, the people that you hang around are going to be less valuable to you within your own life because they're not going to hold you to that same standard. You're going to keep lowering your value. You keep lowering your value for long enough, don't be surprised if your bank account is dog shit and your lifestyle is crap, because money is the exchange of value. The more valuable you are in our society, which means being rare, like Wes Watson says, Wes is one of my mates, he says, rich, ripped, and rare. That's what I love. I love that. Rich, ripped, and rare, because most people are the opposite of all those things. They're broke, they're fat, they're overweight, they don't like themselves, and they're common, right? If you want to do something different, you want to live a wicked life, then make sure you step up. But only you know whether you're holding yourself accountable to your own standards. Just don't lower your worth. Keep stepping up. Anyway, if you're loving this podcast, remember to share it. Get ready for the launch of Dominate. I guarantee it's going to blow your fucking mind. Anyway, take care, Driven Mofos. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for getting this out to the world. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you back in here on the next episode. Most people waste their life, and I just don't want you to be one of them.